Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome all to Faith, Lies, and Confusion. I'm your host, Godless Reggie. This week we have a very special episode called Christianity's Impact on Native American. I have a new guest with me. Her name is Logically Godless. I follow her on TikTok. She's a great content creator. I wanted to work with her for some time, and I finally got her on here. How you doing today? Hold on, you're muted. Let me unmute you.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
Doing okay. As it can be, I guess.
Same here.
Rejection.
Don't don't mind both of us. We're both a little bit nervous. I'm nervous because usually I'm not with the people I usually work with, and she's new to this. So I wanted to get a firsthand account with somebody that's Native American. What I always tell people is I always admire Native American people, and the reason why I do is because not because I feel like I'm Native American because I don't have any clue or trace that I can prove that I am Native American, but I admire them a lot of times because I feel like they're the only people smart enough to recognize that Christianity is not real. They know how it came to them. They don't in most cases they don't hide that fact. I've heard a lot of stories about them and how it came to them. We know historically how it came to them, and I wanted to do a review and have firsthand accounts of exactly what it's about. So I didn't. I felt like I couldn't find a better person than her. Hey, Ouija 666, how are you doing? What's up, Jerwap? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm all nervous. I don't know what to say.
It's okay. Take your time.
so I wasn't raised like on a reservation.
Okay.
I was actually raised far away from, like, I guess most of my family is in Oklahoma, but I've never learned much about my tribes and where I come from, which that got taken away because of racism and Christianity and everything that goes along with that. Um, I wished I could be closer to my native um, family, but yeah, we were estranged from all of that through my mom's dad and stepmom.
Okay.
But no, I am Muskogee Creek of the Natchez Nation and part Cherokee. So
Okay.
I've learned a little bit about that. So I'm not around any of my native relatives, so it's kind of hard. I'm like a face-to-face kind of person to learn those types of things. So
Okay.
but yeah, I think I've experienced some racism, and then I'm pretty, white passing is what they call it. So I mean, I've seen it happen to people.
Okay.
There's some
So
pretty awful things around this part of the woods.
so are you religious?
I used to be Christian
Okay.
since I was baptized around 8, and then yeah, I was agnostic there for a while, and then now I'm atheist,
Okay.
anti-theist.
I'm getting towards anti-theist too. I'm starting to get. I'm trying not to be what I don't like, but I'm getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And the reason why is because I feel like not all, but some religious people, it's like they're pushy. And I'm the type of person, if you push me, I'm going to push back harder. You know what I mean? You push me,
Yeah,
I'm going to push you down.
I think there's a lot more Christian nationalists than people are. I think they're pretty quiet, but they're there.
They about to come out now. They about to come back out to play. So we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
big
see.
time. Yeah.
And it's just a sad situation. So what made you um, lose your religion?
Just I've just kind of been a doubter. And around 13 or 14, I started questioning it more, and like the things that my grandparents were. trying to teach me about things just didn't add up to my questions, or I would never get my questions answered. It's always leave it
Hmm.
to God, or you don't have understanding, those types of things. So I became agnostic, and then finally, a cousin of mine mentioned to me the flying spaghetti monster, and I looked up that, and here I am. I've been an atheist and anti-theist for like 11 years now.
Oh, you're OG atheist. Okay. See, I'm a rookie. I've only been, I would say, pushing 2 years. I've always had the thoughts in my mind. You're, no matter who you is, you're born an atheist because until a person
Yeah.
puts that information into your brain, no different
Yep.
than until a Jehovah's Witness comes knocks on your door. You don't know none of that shit. You don't know none of that. All right.
Yeah.
So we're all born like that. What's up? Look at the trees. Uh, but yeah, you're definitely an OG. People talk to me, ask me because they feel like I'm so confident about the situation and so serious about the situation. Like, "Oh, I can't believe you only been an atheist less than 2 years," and I'm like, yeah, because it's like once you know Santa Claus isn't real, it's over. It's over. It's over it. So
Yeah.
I commend you for
So
11 years.
yeah, it took me about a year to actually come out to my whole family. But yeah, a lot of them were devastated. A lot of them look at me weird. I'm just like a regular now.
Hmm.
They're like, "Why are you here? You don't celebrate Christmas?" Can't tell them it's a pagan holiday. So,
Right. You can't tell them shit. You can't tell, even
yeah.
when you show them the hardcore evidence right to their face. No, that's the devil. It's the great deceiver.
Yeah. And what's funny, it's funny because I used to believe the same thing. Like, I was afraid of Jesus for a long time,
Me too. Me
Everybody's like,
too.
"Who was your monster when you were a kid?" It was Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
And that scared me.
Hmm. He's way more scarier than the devil. The devil just is
Yeah, yep.
looked upon as ugly, which you can't really think of nothing that the devil's going to do to you. Not for real. So it's always
Yeah.
Jesus gonna get you or his dad gonna get you, and
Yep.
it's just a whole bunch of fear tactics stuff. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
play a, I'm gonna play a video on here for a second. Let me see what it looks like on the screen. Make it bigger.
Longest flight since 2019, Pope Francis sets the tone for what's been called a pilgrimage of penance.
Siamo attenti a questo viaggio che, come ha detto, è un viaggio penitenziale. Facciamolo con questo spirito.
Knee pain forcing the 85-year-old to use a wheelchair as he arrived at Alberta Province's capital, Edmonton. A welcome ceremony at the airport with Prime Minister Trudeau before personally meeting First Nations leaders. But while the trip is aimed at advancing reconciliation, some are questioning it.
It's been very unilateral, and we don't feel that it has been about survivors. It has been more about the church.
The Pope's arrival marks the start of a week-long visit centered around a personal apology to survivors for the Church's role in a system Canada has called cultural genocide. Between 1881 and 1996, more than 150,000 Indigenous children were separated from their families and sent to residential schools run by the Catholic Church. Many children were starved, beaten, and sexually abused. Over the past year, more than 1,300 unmarked graves have been discovered at the sites of the former schools.
The people across this country, who I know have borne a wound, a cross that they have suffered with, in some cases for generations.
But many in the Indigenous community want more than an apology, calling for financial compensation, the return of Indigenous artefacts, and support for extraditing an accused abuser.
And an apology for me is never going to be enough, because how do you apologize for genocide if you can't even admit that it has actually occurred?
Tomorrow, the Pope will address thousands of former students before travelling to a pilgrimage site and ending his visit at the home of the largest Inuit population in Canada.
So, even though that's a Canada based, same could be said about here. Definitely.
Oh yeah.
So especially out west, a lot of it on this side where I live at of the United States has been completely erased as far as the type of stuff they were talking about. But out west, you can definitely see signs of that same behavior to this day.
hmm I still can't get over that. They still, a lot of natives are, they believe in Jesus and then God, and a lot of them are saying, well, that's, I believe in my creator. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good. I'm glad you do. But don't present it as Christianity. I think a lot of them do that, unfortunately.
Right. It doesn't, they contradict each other. You can't, to me, you really can't be like, I'm native and be Christian. You can't. You
How
cannot.
can you? Yeah.
Exactly. You cannot deny the hardcore fact that you did not know anything about this shit until
Yeah.
colonization. It's a fact. It's undeniable. The way it's written, the languages that are written, it spells colonizer. Every last
Yep.
one of them. I don't care if it's English, French, Spanish, Latin, Hebrew, Arabic, Greek, Aramaic. It's all that shit. Same shit. It came
It's the
directly from
same.
them.
It's just
Yeah, it's the same.
same stuff, different language.
hmm Exactly. Any tribal people have. I don't care what area you're from. I don't care if you're from the United States. I don't care if you're from Africa. I don't care if you're from Australia. Anywhere, South America, anywhere there's tribal people, that shit don't have nothing to do with you. Nothing.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Christianity is from Catholicism to Christianity, the same thing. I think
hmm
it's different, but yeah, it's
It's
had an
not.
impact. I mean, there's like, I feel like if I have family that I've never met, that were born and live on a reservation, and yeah, I've never got to meet them because of that. My real grandmother left, my mom and her 4 siblings when they were little. With, my grandpa was Scottish German man and married some white lady. And yeah, they were abused, and I don't even know what they're doing now, but they're not doing anything indigenously related. They're not trying to learn our language or nothing like that.
My thing is this. I just don't understand the ideology that, you know, they came for good or they came and rescued you. Don't you know we were fine for thousands of fucking years? Like you didn't
Yeah.
do anything by teaching me this shit.
And then they're like, "Oh, you were conquered." No, no, you had more guns.
That's it.
Okay.
That's
But
it.
we're still here. We're still here.
I speak on that a lot too because it correlates with black people. You know what I tell them? Because a lot of black people they don't understand how we got here, why we got here, or they're confused and think that we always been here. I've come to find out that there's a lot of white pretendians too. I just learned that. I didn't know that. I thought that was only a black
Oh
thing.
yeah,
There's more. I know
yeah.
there's more.
And I
But
try to tell people you can tell a difference.
yes, you can. Yep, because most times when people are native, they have them big pores in their face. That's to me, that's the main giveaway more than
Yeah. For
anything.
me, it's demeanor, like the way that we're different from those who pretending, because like it's just in the genes, I guess. I could tell anyway.
What I tell them is, I say the reason why they brung us here more than anything is because of disease. I'm like, the guns they had. Not saying they didn't have guns. They did have a lot of guns, but they were one shot guns. You couldn't have completely got rid of that many people with one shot guns. They died because of
Yeah,
smallpox more than anything.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And
It
people don't
devastated
understand
everybody.
that. So
Yeah. How do you not understand that? I mean, look at the pandemic. Even that doesn't make them understand how easily a disease can come over and wipe you out,
right, right.
you know,
There's a
almost.
there's a group of people. I can look it up real fast. I forget what their name is, but they stay off the coast of India. They're an indigenous group of people that no other what they call a civilized nation has ever really came in contact with. And it's for a couple reasons. It's actually illegal to go to the island. They'll kill you first and foremost. They will definitely kill you. But if they come in contact with normal, well, I ain't gonna say normal because everybody's normal, but people that have been around diseases like that, you could possibly kill them, like wipe them all out. I use that as an example too. When people are like, "Oh, everyone knows the concept of God," I bet they don't.
They don't need to. I
No,
mean, they're doing just fine.
forever,
Yeah.
forever. As long as they've
Yeah.
been. So I don't get that either.
Yeah. Gotta spread the
Mm.
word. Everybody knows. And if they don't, they seem to be fine.
I feel
Like,
like you better off not knowing.
yeah, we're here to save you. Okay, well, from what? Then why did you tell me? Yeah,
Looking
I
at
was 5 when I was starting to be indoctrinated. Um, had to go and stay with my grandparents and my step grandmother. Just one of these. Oh, she's very, very not native, and she cut my hair. You know, she kind of treated me like a slave. Typically, I mean, literally, and that's it. Yeah, it was horrible. She just totally wanted to strip me of my indigeneity. I mean, that was like her goal. So,
in a way,
yeah,
I can't help but be jealous, not because of what happened, obviously, but I can't help but be somewhat jealous because to know, for sure, like, okay, well, this person right here, to pinpoint exactly before that shit came to you, it's not, I can't even think of the right word because it's not a blessing. I don't believe in God, but I wish that I could could just pinpoint, like, look, see, right there, that's before. I mean, obviously, I could say, you know, pre-slavery or whatever, but I
right.
think that's dope that you actually know and can see your family members before that, before the brainwashing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Let me play another video. What's up, NJ? I see you. My grandson just what was the name of that? North Sentinel Island. Yes, I'll pull that up here in a minute too.
Religion has been our biggest problem. It was a pope who made that statement in 1493. If there are no Christian nations in the land that you have discovered, I declare those lands to be empty, open for colonization by Christian nations. Christian nations, very explicit. Further, if there are people there and they are not Christians, they do not have a right of title to land. Disenfranchise the whole Western Hemisphere with one statement. We had no idea he said that. We had no idea. And it fails today. Cheryl versus Oneida Indian Nation, 2005. First notation. Doctrine of Discovery. First notation. That's 1493. Doctrine of Discovery. It's still calling us non-Christians, non-title. So, what has to change? The obvious is that kind of understanding. There are no Christian nations, so Christianity has been a problem.
When Christianity was introduced to Hawaii, the focus then became humans and an afterlife, and it really did not focus on continuing this relationship between humans and the land and nurturing that relationship. And it also enabled the society to commodify the land and to change it into a system of private land ownership and buying and selling the land. So that further alienated the Hawaiian people from this historic relationship to the land, and that relationship was broken. And it really wasn't until Kaho'olawe and the whole call to Aloha Aina that we as Hawaiians in my generation began to really connect back to the land and the spiritual nature of the land. And by honoring again our gods, such as Lono of the Makahiki, when the Makahiki on Ko'olani was first observed again in 1980, this was the first time that in modern day the full ceremony was practiced, and we begin that reconnection of the Hawaiian to our spiritual soul as a people, because that Christianity had severed that relationship of our soul to the land, because it focused on our soul in relationship to an abstract entity, which is good, but it still didn't enable us to keep and nurture and honor our relationship as humans to the land and the spirit of the land, which is really the heart and soul of our culture as a people and our identity as a people here in Hawaii, because it's Hawaii that we are related to, are born out of, and we descend from. And so that relationship is integral to our identity as who we are as a people.
What is it about Christianity that severs that tie to the land?
I guess in the Judeo-Christian tradition, we're really looking at humans conquering nature and invoking this spiritual entity to help humans overcome obstacles in nature and control these forces of nature, to harness these forces of nature, to be able to advance technologically and in a materialist fashion, and to use the land and its resources for generating profit in the capitalist system. Ultimately, the land and all resources are commodities, and everything that is commodified can then be bought and sold, and it is depersonalized. But the way that Christianity enables us to do that is you see this importance of using God to harness the forces of nature rather than to place ourselves as humans in a respectful relationship to nature.
So people get their language, they get their kinship system, they get their law.
I agree with that. Because I think a lot of times you hear people praying for storms to go away or for this to happen and that to happen. You don't have no control over that, and neither does God. That don't make any sense. And why do we
Right.
think that things belong to us? Like, why do we think that this property belongs to us? More like we belong to it, right?
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah,
I
I would
think.
say it's eco, not ego. So
Exactly. I think it's our, I can't even, I keep wanting to say the word blessing, but I think it's our privilege to be here. So I don't really look at it like, you own this, you own that. And especially when you're
yeah,
going to a whole different type of society that, doesn't think like that. How you going to go to native land and then try to sell it? That doesn't make sense.
mm-mm.
Laws and customs from what we call the Bulgaria, the green time, the beginning times, when things were soft on the earth and were molded and shaped, but couldn't speak, didn't have any way of relating, interrelating. We start from there. Whereas in the Western world, people start from science. They start from deduction. They start from observation of what is there. And they try to analyse that, and they try to interpret rules to go with it. Whereas we are born into a world where we already have meaning. We have meaning. Because we're born with a particular kinship. We're born with a name. We're born with a spirit being that will return to the land when we die. We know that. And then we know that a part of us also goes to the sky. Now, Western people who follow Christian teachings start with Christ's teachings and the scriptures and then the doctrines of the various churches. And they try to interpret a world through a Christological prism. Whereas we are constantly engaging with a world that we know is alive. It has a spirituality itself, and we are connected to that spirituality. And we know that how we walk on this earth, wherever we might be, it is important for us to respect the land. I think with the Western Christian view,
I have to disagree with him somewhat. And where I would disagree with him at is when he was like, when we die, we'll go into the ground and then our spirit will go up into the sky. Bruh, that is a Western idea. So
it's more about morality. It's more about moral codes. It's more about relationships to power and authority. And it's very much linked to exploitation of resources and control and domination of people's difference and subjugating people to a way of life that's alien. That's been the history in Australia. People not telling history.
If you look at the etymology of the word colonization, it has the same root as the word colon. It means to digest. Colonization is a process of the digestion of one culture Why not? Through military, economic, political, religious mechanisms.
I've never heard that before. That's super fucked up to even think that. Um, damn, that's crazy. I used Australia as an example for a couple of different things, especially when I'm debating. One example I use Australia for is when they talk about the Noah's Ark story, right? I'll be like, okay, so what about the marsupials? What about the kangaroos? You mean to tell me that Noah went all the way to Australia and then came back? But in recent history, I use them for an example. Um, being straight up is like they never knew of anything about Jesus, God, or any of that until about the 1700s or something like that, when the British first got there. And they have proof that they've been there at least 30, 40, 50,000 years. So why would any person from Australia, Aborigine, why would they believe that shit? And I use that all the time.
I just think people just really want to live forever, and they don't care how they do that.
True. They don't want to come to the realization that one day it's all going to be over. Your lights is going to be off. That's it. You're not going to go be holding hands with your family and kumbaya, and then y'all not going to be having picnics up in heaven. That shit's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Anybody that's gone right now, you ain't never going to see they ass ever the fuck again, no matter what happens, good or bad. They not
And
there.
there's
If you
there's
both
no
go to
hell
hell,
either.
you ain't going to see them.
Yeah.
Right. I tell people, you know what I tell people all the time, Brandy? I say the only thing that Jesus ever did for people, right, is give you the opportunity to go to hell. You know why? Because there was no concept of hell or the devil until the New Testament was written, right?
Right.
To touch back on last week when I was doing the streams about the Mormon Church, even though what they believe is 1000% ridiculous, one thing that does make some sense to me that they talk about, they feel that Lucifer and Jesus are brothers. I feel like that makes more sense.
Yeah. That Cain and Abel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wait, Jesus didn't exist until the 17th. No, Ouija. This is what I'm saying. Ouija 666. People from Australia had no knowledge of any Abrahamic religion until the 1700s. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, when
That's
they
what I'm
all
saying.
started going out and exploring,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was just fine before then. That's all messed up.
Right.
That is a process that you see historically. That's a process you see now. It depends on where you want to start. You can make the argument quite easily that the papal bulls of the 1490s, which argued and provided the political and religious arguments for colonialism, that said basically if you were not Christian, you were not entitled to your land. And you should be vanquished and you should be destroyed. So that is the origins, is this sense of the righteousness of Christian.
I gotta stop right there. That's another thing that I touch on, as she said. That's pretty much the same exact thing that Pope Eugenius IV said about us. He gave the Portuguese the written authorization to enslave the Negros, off the Canary Islands, and their justification for that is that we were not Christian, so they felt we were soulless monkeys. So any black person that believes that shit, if you know that what I just said and you still believe it, you're a coon.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Native too. If you know that and you native, you're a coon too.
Christendom and the ownership of Christendom of the rest of the world. It turns out the whole world is not Christian. And despite all these attempts for all these years, there's repeated and repeated attempts, but people have retained or they have recovered, from the Christian colonial process and returned to the people that they originally were, because they find that their place in the creation is best discussed in those terms spiritually. And so you have a long process which has scarred people in land, over these years. You have many people who have retained, their songs and their ceremonies, despite them being outlawed. Until 1978 with the passage of the American Indian Religious Freedom Act, as an example, I would assume that similar laws were passed internationally to outlaw the practice of outlaw our religious practices, because what the government knew is that power resides within our spiritual practice. And so in systemically or systematically attempting to replace our power with their Christian churches and then their government agents, they were able to destabilize many of our communities. And that they were pretty successful at for well over 100 years in many of our communities. We see the scars of that today, whether it is at Hopi, the Mormon church, or the Catholic churches elsewhere, or the different eras in the Soviet Union, or certainly in Australia. At the same time, you see people who retained connection and never forgot, or somehow, as is in many of our prophecies, woke back and remembered. And those people remain on these front lines. The government, in many cases, though, has worked well with new deployment of Christian churches into indigenous territories. You see the consequences of that on James Bay. I'm sure you see it in Tar Sands. And you see it in many other areas where in the teachings of these churches, there is a separation of the land that is there from the people. There is a cut of the umbilical cord so that people are not related to the land by the creation stories. They assume someone else's creation story. There is a loss of connection as to how we reaffirm relationship. Instead of having reaffirmation religions, we end up with commemorative religions. They commemorate someone else's history, someplace else. Yeah. And then we end up with a belief.
She hit the nail right on the head. I don't know. It's almost like I know this lady or something, or we tapped into each other's brains, because I be saying that same shit too. I always say, like, listen, this is somebody else's history. This is somebody else's ideology. This is somebody else's mythology, right? It doesn't belong to you. Even if every fucking story in the damn Bible is true, if you are a African American or a Native, anything, it has nothing to do with you. Nothing. How you feel, Brandy?
I'm good. The video was kind of cutting out there for a little while.
At what point?
It could be my phone.
No, what point was it doing it? Was it just doing it when I turned it off, or what?
Just this last, like just a couple minutes. Not even that. Just before you stopped it.
Okay.
Sounds all echoey and like cuts like
Okay,
cuts
hold
in
on.
and
Let me
out.
see. Let's see if I stop it and bring it back. What'll happen?
It's like, I was pretty happy until I was 5 years old. They told me about God. What?
Told you can go to hell if you don't behave, right?
Yeah. Jesus was watching you, so I kept my curtains closed for a long time.
Let's see if it acts right this time. Hold on.
And remembered. And those people remain on these front lines. The government, in many cases, though, has worked well with new deployment of Christian churches into indigenous territories. You see the consequences of that on James Bay. I'm sure you see it in Tar Sands. And you see in many other areas where in the teachings of these churches, there is a separation of the land that is there from the people. There is a cut of the umbilical cord so that people are not related to the creation stories. They assume someone else's creation story. There is a loss of connection as to how we reaffirm relationship. Instead of having reaffirmation religions, we end up with commemorative religions. They commemorate someone else's history, someplace else. Yeah. And then we end up with a belief that it doesn't matter what we do because salvation is someplace else. And so let them lie, let them down. That must be God's will, because our salvation is in the next world. That whole set of religious teachings has very dangerous implications for indigenous communities and has been absolutely essential to the interests of mining corporations and governments.
Listen, it's like she is just preaching the truth up there. Like, She hitting it dead on the fucking head, boy. She's like, oh, you know, you getting yours in the next life. I just don't understand why anybody goes for that shit. Like, there's this guy in my damn inbox on TikTok debating with me about, oh yeah, they're gonna get theirs in the next life for slavery. Trust and believe karma is real. I said, bro, you
Karma.
stupid
Yeah.
as fuck. I
There's
said, you
place.
dumb as fuck. You keep going for that shit. I'm like, man, that's the oldest one in the book. Then the next life, I said,
Yeah.
you're gonna be poor your whole motherfucking life, thinking you're gonna die rich. I said, man, you fucked up.
It's like Christianity tried to steal karma too and make it theirs. Like karma's a whole other part of a different religion.
Right.
When they tell me that, I said, so you don't believe in your God in Christianity, you believe in karma and is it Buddhism or something like that?
Hindu
Yeah,
or one of them
something.
shits. It sounds like something that sounds like a word from India to me. Karma, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna push play for a second. I gotta use the bathroom. I done drunk too much coffee. Let me pee real fast.
Yeah.
The religious and spiritual domination of peoples. And so in this recovery of our humanity as indigenous peoples, we remember and we cover our things and we remember our songs and we rid ourselves of the cloaks of Christianity or the cloaks of consumerism and we remember who we were supposed to be. These spiritual places not only buttress our beings, but are the places to which we essentially must essentially go to keep restoring that relationship and recovering that power of place.
I don't know who that damn lady is, but I'm gonna have to look her up, and I'm following her for sure, because she makes so much fucking sense, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I first came out and everything, and I started being more confident about my conclusion about, religion, I would tell a lot of people, look, learn your roots of what your own spirituality was from your ancestors. It's going to be a lot different than, Christianity. Or they get mad at me. I've had someone so angry. I'm just saying.
But you're telling them the truth, though. I mean, I say that too, but my thing is this: I don't believe any religion, right? But at the same time, why do people worship something that does not look anything like them? So I have more respect for people who have traditional beliefs than
Yeah.
otherwise. Now when it comes to Jewish people, that's when we're talking about the Torah and Judaism. That's their belief. They're ethnically Jewish. So I
Yeah.
understand why they worship it. And most times with them, they don't believe it verbatim. They're ethnically Jewish. A lot
Yeah.
of them are atheists. So I get that, but if you're worshiping something that you know that does not have nothing to fucking do with you, I don't get it. And then another thing, like I said, why I've always admired natives and I've always looked up to them is because y'all can prove that y'all are older than any Abrahamic religion, just like black people can prove that they
Yeah.
are older than any Abrahamic religion. Bottom line. So I don't see why either group believes
Yeah.
it.
Indoctrination's the worst. It's based on fear. You
It
make you
is.
scared.
It is. It is. It is. It is unfair. Most people believe that shit because they're scared to go to hell. That's why. That's why. I'm so glad packages get delivered to the top of the hill and not to the bottom. Jay, you funny. NJ, I should have sent you the link, NJ, for you to come on. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm-mm. You missed it the other night as well, NJ. With the presidential thing, we didn't do it live. We just recorded it, and we're gonna make snippets of it. But anytime they actually like you because the stuff you be saying because you're smart. Too many of them don't know her ancestry, and the Mormons pay for the DNA. Listen, any person of color that believes anything the fucking Mormons say is crazy. It's crazy, crazy. Brandy, have
And
you
I
ever
was
seen
married to, I was married in the Mormon church to my ex-husband was part
what?
Mormon.
Oh man, I'm so mad I ain't heard you come
So,
on last week. Fuck.
so that's pretty much what really pushed me into more of my anti-theist, atheist,
I respect that.
conclusions. Was,
I respect that. I respect that because I didn't play that damn cartoon 6 or 7 times. Oh man, the underwear is the funniest part to me. Please don't tell me that your
yeah.
husband wore them damn underwear. Please don't tell me
Nah,
that.
he didn't really practice it. It was just something his mom was making us do. He did always say, "I'd like another. I have to have some wives." And I'm like, "Bro, you're gonna have to go find somebody else." I want a baseball team. I said, "You're gonna have to find somebody else. I'm not producing none of that."
Listen, anybody out there watching this, and I did a 3-part series again about the Mormon and the LDS Church. Please check that out. It's very, very entertaining and informative. They are so racist. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not even that dark skinned, but they would stare at me. Like, what are you looking at? This
Oh
is before I
man.
had tattoos. I didn't have no tattoos. So I couldn't say it was the tattoos.
Ooh, they're hilarious. I got a couple more excuse me, videos I could play. They're mostly short. Give me a minute.
Yeah, they keep cutting out on those videos. I mean, I'm catching some of what they're saying. Like, I get it. But it keeps cutting out. It's probably my phone.
Okay. I'll put it on normal speed and see if that helps it.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, this ain't the right one. I don't want to watch that one. That one's too long.
What's up, video bloggers? I hope everyone out there is doing good. So today I want to talk about something that can be quite sensitive to some Native people. This is how I feel about the Native American church. A good friend of mine had asked me just out of curiosity, because she's been to peyote ceremony, and she just wanted to know what my thoughts were on it because I've never been. Now, I have several concerns with Native American church because, number one, using the name Native American, like I've been saying since time and again, is a generalization of our people. I understand it is. I understand that it's sort of it's it's a place where all people, all Native people of different nations can come together and they can take part of the peyote ceremony. Okay, the second problem I have with that is the word church. Now, as Native peoples, we've had several hundreds and hundreds of designated places that we've had ceremony and prayer rituals at. And so, it's not like how a church is, like, you know, it's, it's like the creator, God is everywhere. He's not just going to show up in your little white stone church, just because you're there, just because there's a priest, just because there's an altar with wine. You know what I'm saying? So that word church is it's an angle fixture on our psyches. You know, I think one of the things that really bother me about
It's still glitching, Brandy. I don't hear it.
It's like I said, it's probably my phone.
No, you ain't the only one that's saying it because Ouija 666 is saying it. I'm not gonna be on here much longer anyway. Uh, let's see if the other one is gonna be glitching. Well, maybe if I turn it up a little bit, let's see what happens then. I don't know.
It's a sign from God. We're not supposed to be watching this. No, it's the devil.
And, like I've known a lot of Native people that as much as they are racist in that good way about being indigenous, about being Aboriginal, um, they are still glued, they're still hooked to Catholicism, Christianity, or Pentecostal, whatever religion it is that they were brought up in. Okay, so you're still hooked in because they fucking brainwashed you. They brainwashed you. Okay, and Native people, we're the most susceptible to be brainwashed. We don't think we are. We are.
That's debatable. I think that I hate to say it, I think that black people probably hands down are the easiest to brainwash. Um, maybe not. I think we're easier to brainwash than natives because I believe there's more natives that don't believe in
Yeah,
Abrahamic religions than do. And with
yeah,
black people, it's more that believe in Abrahamic religions that don't.
yeah.
So I have to disagree with him on that. I hope everybody heard that.
Okay. I think it's a good thing in some ways. Okay, I think on our part, actually, it's fun for our right to have this plant and for us to have ceremony with this plant. The United States government was saying, well, it's a hallucinogenic drug that that it's not regulated by any means. But we've been taught the plant, how to be, how to how to use it. It's the same thing like with the natives down in Peru, how they know how to use the separation practice. But as much as I know Bonaparte had fought for that. Okay, and it's almost like okay, the Native American Church has these rights to have POD there. That's a good thing. Okay, that we had this victory over over the United States and the Department of Drug Enforcement and everything. But look, this planet is from our planet. Okay, this planet of ours doesn't care. It means nothing to this planet to have regulations put onto it. This is our mother that we're living on. Okay, the Mother Earth knows everything. It gives everything, provides everything. And I think in a good way, it's good that only the Native American Church can get the before William C. The most recognized form of the divine cactus. Because we don't want, especially non-native people, white people love to get high on fucking salvia, fucking mushrooms and stuff. It's like white people just want to get high for no fucking reason. We're not getting high. Okay? We use peyote for very, very secret reasons.
I mean, I don't think he should probably take it that far if they want to do it. You can't just say that only we can do it and they can't. That's not fair. I mean, unfortunately, this is the United States, so it don't work like that. So you can't do that. But I get what he's saying. I respect his religious beliefs, but you can't discriminate.
Reasons because it opens our mind, it opens our eyes to levels, to planes, to what's the word? To portals we cannot access without. Like with many churches, they become of cult nature. So can the Native American Church. You can also have that ability to become of a cult nature because look, you have all these different religions and stuff. You have all the people that want to abide and want to live by these religions, but at the same time, their whole thing is about recruiting. And once you start recruiting people, instead of having people willfully come, right, and seek it out on their own, that's a cult. Anytime you go out and you recruit, that's a cult.
Amen. I agree with him 1000%. Anytime you go recruit, it's a cult. If your God is so real, I would be coming to him on my own. You wouldn't have to come knocking on my door. You wouldn't be putting shit in my mail. You wouldn't be calling my phone. You wouldn't be having human beings come up to me and tell me what you told them to say. You would come right to me, and I would come right to you. So he is 100% right. I've never thought about that. But anytime you look for recruits, it's automatically a cult.
bribery, extortioning, and threats.
Right. Bare minimum, if we're gonna say it's not a cult, we're gonna have to go with the word gang because you are looking for recruits. It's one or the other.
I've had I have people asking me all the time, hey, you want to come to this church of mine, and we do it's a non-denominational church or non it's a church that's not specific to any religion. Like, dude, I can create any fucking way I want. Why do I have to go to your fucking church? Why do I have to go where you go? The creator did what he done. We're saying the creator, he's everywhere. He's not just where the fuck you go, and he's watching you. He's watching the creator is watching all you guys out there, and you guys are being sneaky, and you guys are manipulating people into giving up their lives, giving up their livelihood, giving up their mind. Several times I've watched stories on cults, especially the one that is Heaven's Gate, because that's the one when I remember when I was in California, I was asked to go to a meeting by a friend of mine, and he's like, yeah, man, it's just a bunch of people hanging out with cookies and stuff, like we just discuss our feelings and stuff. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll come. And so I went in with him, and he's like, yeah, that's
They always ease you into it with cookies and shit and snacks and juice and all kind of stuff. Probably cut the game on for you. Probably got a video game system there for you. You know, first couple times, then they start getting serious on you, telling you how you can dress and your sex life and all kind of other weird shit that's none of their damn business.
weaponified. Okay, fine, I gotta use the restroom. Yeah. It didn't have to, but then I went just to give myself a buffer space between me and him. Not only that, but the restroom was really close to the entrance, but the exit actually. So like, I'm watching this from back over here, and there's one of these camera things. When the guy climbs up on it, and he's controlling the camera, and everything. And I was watching him. I was just watching how these devout, fucking mindless ants, how they just like give up their lives, give up their own mind. And I was like, yeah, this is not right, man. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was Heaven's Gate, but it was pretty close. And I gotta say,
What's he
this is
saying?
this is hard. Okay, if you're fucking stupid enough,
What you say, Brandy?
What's he talking about?
What you say? He's talking about so basically this is what he's saying. He's saying his friend convinced him to go to church, right? And I guess he was saying that his friend was getting on his nerves, so he made up a stupid ass excuse to go to the bathroom, right? And he said once he went to the bathroom, he said he turned around and he seen a cameraman like recording everybody, and he said he was watching how people are just sitting there just like like following along like sheep.
Just a bunch of heads going like that.
Hmm.
That's funny.
do not know that you're being manipulated by somebody. That you don't know that you're being sucked into a freaking cult. You deserve to be fucking sucked into that fucking cult and lose your fucking life, right? Because we need smart people to fucking inherit the earth. Like that's how I feel. If you're that fucking stupid, and that's why I talk about the power of one, of being your own fucking person, okay, and straying from the flock, and being true to who you are, and sticking to your guns. Like, talk about this, about my distaste for clubs and groups, okay, because they want to enforce a group mentality where you feel that you have a say, but then you don't. Okay? It's always a higher ups, people controlling you, okay.
Right.
I don't care what form this club or group is, they all have the basic same ground rule, is to recruit and let them feel that they have some kind of control, but then they don't. But by the time that they realize that they don't have control, it's too fucking late. Okay? That's why I'm always talking about like like stand up on your own, be your own person. Right? I'm trying to enforce that in people, I'm trying to encourage that. So I'm trying to encourage that in you. Stand up and be your own person, to not follow the flock, stray away from the school. That was what I was watching this one documentary.
I definitely respect that 100%. That's why I've never was in a gang. It's the same reason why I'm not religious. I never thought about it like that, but I'm not a follower. I don't do what other people do. I don't listen. I don't follow directions very well. I do what the fuck I want to do. I do what I think is right. I don't go along with what everybody else do. So it's not going to work out for me. So I definitely respect that he's saying that, and I think that people should stop being followers, and I think that's what it's about. You don't quote unquote have to be a leader just because you're not a follower. I'm just not a follower.
Right.
I'm just not gonna do what everybody else do. I do it I think is right. Nobody knows what's best for me. I don't even know what's best for me. So how the fuck does another person know?
On Heaven's Gate Peoples, and there was this one couple, this black couple from Cincinnati. They just had a baby, and they were drawn in by Marshall Applewhite and his charisma as they saw it, and then decided to leave their 2-month-old baby with his wife's parents. You know, the wife's parents, and they went and they changed their lives, and they had these every I think it was like every couple of months or something like that. They had like these little family vacations where they could go home and they could invite family over there. What happened was that husband saw what was happening. That he opened his eyes and he saw what was happening, and he tried to convince his wife, saying, "Hey, you know what? This is not what we bargained for. This is not what we wanted. This is not why we left Cincinnati. This is not why we left our children. Is for this. He's trying to explain to her in a way so that she wouldn't go and tell him, and then they would clap him up, and then he's dead with them too. So he's really trying to get her attention and say, hey, babe, this is really not our life and stuff. And unfortunately, she was already brainwashed. She was gone, and he had gone back to Cincinnati, taking care of the baby, and a couple weeks later, that was when the Hale-Bopp comet was coming, and everybody had to wear Nikes, and his wife was among one of the dead in the largest mass suicide America has ever seen. Okay.
I don't know if anybody remembers that. That was over 20 years ago. I definitely remember that shit. The followers of the Hale-Bopp comet, that was the weirdest cult I've ever seen. How they had their hair cut all down and shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
liked
weird.
it. I liked the Nikes that they was wearing. The Nikes was fresh. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Nikes was fucking fresh. But the rest of that shit was weird. They believed like a spaceship was following behind this comet that was kind of close to Earth, and that you had to commit suicide by eating this damn applesauce with this poison in it, and somehow you're gonna teleport to heaven on this damn ship. Just a bunch of bullshit. And these people, you would think that these people are like some foolish people. Well, they are foolish, but you would think that these people are uneducated or something like that. But these people actually were smart, had good jobs, good careers. Just like anybody can be brainwashed. Anybody. It's just sad. Do you remember that shit, Brandy?
Yes, that was insanity.
hmm I still was in school then. I probably was maybe 12 or 13 or some shit like that, but I still remember it. And that's fucked up that you laughing, Ouija 666. But I was laughing then too, and I'm laughing now because you got to be a damn fool to fall for that.
Am I telling you that religion is wrong? Yes, I am. Am I telling you what you believe in is wrong? Possibly. Do you believe because you know for your own facts that you've discovered, or do you know because you don't know and other people are telling you so? Maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, maybe your grandma, your aunties and uncles, they're telling you what. You need to believe what you know in your heart, which is a direct connection to the Creator, to be true. Any organization is easily to become a cult. You have to remember that. And you need to remember this too. I want to tell you this too. Cults don't only come in the form of religion. Okay? You are all part of a cult right now. Okay? Because of the cult that is your mobile life, your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube, everything. Anything that can steal and snatch your attention and distract you to it. It's cultish, okay? You are bought. You have, don't tell me you're not. you can easily be purchased by whatever they're selling, by television, by big billboards, radio. Not only that, but subliminal advertising. Shut the television off. You know, I worry about people that have so much potential and they go and they just let their lives slip into someone else's hands. I think that's all I have to say. I want you to think for yourselves, right? And then look around and see what's going on and tell me that you think it's right. It's not right. It's just what's become socially acceptable. You're being blinded, you're being bought. Y'all need to watch this movie. I saw it in 1988. This movie changed my fucking life. And this is how I see my life. Okay? There's this movie that came out from director John Carpenter. It's called They Live. And this was made in 88. Okay? And tell me if it does not have more prevalence today. There's a reason why they call the items right where you're going to be purchasing your things up at the cashier. There's a reason why they call them how do they call them impulse buys. Okay. They want you to buy. They want you to concede. They want you to relinquish your belief, to have no original thought, do not question authority. They want you to buy. They want you to procreate. This that I'm sharing with you right now leads you to know that I live a very boring life. And it's true, I do live a very boring life, but my mind is awakened. I am unplugged. And I've been unplugged for a long time, and now I'm getting residual knowledge because I haven't watched television since September. Okay, I haven't watched the news in 4 years. The news, man. Oh my God, you guys have no idea what's being fed to you in the news. I want you to open your fucking eyes. That's all I gotta say. Take care, much love. Sultan Jolene Jogananda. Peace Ganache.
Okay. He said a lot of which I agree, not all of it. To me, as he kept going, I say probably that was a 17-minute video, probably at the 14-minute mark. That's kind of where he lost me. He started going into conspiracy theories. I don't really get into that shit because if you can't prove it, there's no point of even bringing it up to me.
Right.
If you don't got no evidence with it, you're just making up lies. But I respect most of his points.
Yeah.
It seems like he probably was on break from work. It sounded like somebody was doing some type of construction or remodeling or some shit in the background. I was gonna ask you, was it you at first, but then I started realizing it was him.
He's right though. There is a lot of disconnect, and it's from religions and television. I watch TV shows like on Netflix, and I catch my mom. I live with my mom. My mom would never. She'll be watching the news, and I'm going, "What are you watching?" She'll come out. I'm like, "You're watching Fox News?" I'm like, "You need to change that channel."
I watch it for like the weather, but I don't
Yeah.
really watch TV. I watch sports like I watch when we get off here. I'm gonna watch the games, yeah, for sure. But that's about it. I watch Hulu and shit like that as well. I don't really see no need to sit there and be watching TV all day. I'd be at work during the weekdays anyway, so by the time I'm done, come home and do things I need to do. There's no point.
Yeah, she's disabled, and I'm a caretaker. So we're home all day.
Understandable. What you got going on for the rest of the day, Brandy?
Probably just do some TikToks, pick up my house a little bit. I haven't been sleeping well because I just had surgery, and I'm about 8 weeks post-op for my shoulder. I'll probably take a nap.
Okay. Okay. Well, get well. Where can they find you at on TikTok? I'm gonna put it in the comments as well.
It's my screen name is like Brandy.
BRANDY.
Yeah, and then underscore again, Brandy capital B. And my Instagram's logically godless. And then my Facebook's just Brandy McLean. Logically godless.
Godless at Instagram.
Logically godless. Logically underscore godless. I do think that's it. And these are all new accounts. So I've been on the internet for like, I don't know, 7 years now. I've lost accounts. My Facebook, I've had over 5,000 people on there, and I lost that account. Had a stalker, and yeah, these are all my new accounts.
I need to make different ones because my Instagram, I ain't never gonna be able to go live. Not even on here. I didn't try so many times, but I didn't got so many warnings and strikes. But the thing about it is, I don't want to start over because it ain't like I'm gonna be able to go live on the Insta. I got to get so many followers. I don't feel like doing that shit. That shit
Yeah,
is bull.
it's talk about discrimination. You know,
Right,
we get a lot of it as atheists.
right. I'm always listen. I got 3 TikTok accounts
I'm on like
because
my 6th. I
okay,
got
so
to
it's
3,000 something followers on my TikTok, and then I started getting flags and bans, and yeah, I lost that one.
all right. I'm gonna make sure I got it right. Okay, so I got logically. That's LOGICALLY underscore godless at Instagram, and Brandy is capital BRANDY underscore lowercase Brandy.
Uppercase, both capitalized.
And what's the rest of it?
Just Brandy
Okay,
for TikTok,
yeah.
and then
So
for Facebook, it's my whole name, Brandy McLean. And then my pictures now are anti-fascist Wonder Woman. That's my picture.
okay. Well, I'll definitely be back Wednesday with AAA Sports cast sports AAA Sports at maybe 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time this Friday. We're supposed to have that Quad City shooting stream about Tupac. So check us out there. That's
Oh,
on
nice.
product on the, of the 8
Um,
cast on Friday. Sunday
my,
I'll
sorry, you got my name spelled wrong right there.
oh I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, the McLean. It's MCCLAIN.
Okay.
That way, I just saw that. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, I'll definitely be back here Sunday around the same time, 11:30, 12 o'clock. With Faith Lies in Confusion. I don't know what the topic is going to be about. I may retouch Christianity and Native America because there's a lot of things that we can go to. We can go. Well, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm gonna think about it. But there's a lot of different directions I can go with that. But thank you, Ouija666. Definitely thank you, Brandy, for coming on. Hopefully we can get Brandy to come back on soon. Um, thank you again. Follow her. Thank you, Jerwalk. Thank you, NJ, as always. Who else? Who else stopped by? Oh, look at the trees. Thank you for stopping by again. Thank you, James. Who else? Thank you, everybody that's watching at home. And we're about to be out here in a second.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.